as we were reading the book of Esther. And if you have not already done so, I highly encourage you to go ahead and read the book of Esther. But there's a portion of scripture that I thought we should encourage each other as we are getting into prayer. And like I said, I will be getting into a period of fasting. So if you guys wanted to join, feel free to join me and pray as you are led by the Spirit for whatever situation that you've been praying for, that God help you in whatever area. So please do so. But today let's just quickly read the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 15. It reads, "Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai, go gather all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. I want you to take note where it says, do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." So Mordecai went away and carried out all of Esther's instructions. So now this portion of scripture that we have read happened after Esther had been made the queen. After Queen Vashti was removed as the queen. So then of course is if you read further, it talks about Haman. So prior to this scripture, so there was actually a plot to annihilate the Jews. There was a plot to kill and destroy the Jews. This all happened after Mordecai refused to bow to Haman. So Haman had so much hatred against the Jews. So then there was a decree that was actually made right there. So Esther was actually a Jew, and she was in the king's palace, serving as the queen. So where we have read, this conversation was between Mordecai and Esther. So Mordecai was the one who raised Esther up until the time that she actually ended up getting into the kingdom as the queen. But with that plot, so Mordecai had actually reminded Esther that if you don't do anything, don't think that even though you think you may be in the palace, that you are exempt. But for the reasons that you are also a Jew, you are not exempt. So after Esther was reminded of these things, of course, that's when she decreed a fast. It was a dry fast, 3 days, 3 nights, nothing, no food, nothing. So of course, I mean, we've all heard about the story of how Haman was actually hanged on his poles. This is the portion of scripture that everyone likes and to talk about and to hear. But that issue, that story did not start on the poles, but it actually started based on this fast, and that's how Haman was hanged, and that's how Mordecai was elevated, and that's how, when you read through the whole book of Esther, Esther managed to give victory to her people based on this prayer and fasting. So I don't know what you are believing God for. I don't know what you want God to do for you. I've had the chance to talk to all of you, and I personally understand, at least you have an understanding of what you are going through. But if you like, I highly encourage you to join me as we enter into this period of prayer and fasting, believing that God will do something for you, believing that God will fight the battle. So I just thought I'll the scripture just to emphasize the the importance of prayer and fasting, and then that is what will actually lead us into victory. So let's take this time to begin to worship, to begin to pray in the night, to begin to go before God with a thanksgiving prayer for whatever you want God to do for you. The battle has already been won in the spirit. So all you are doing there as you are praying, as you are fasting, is to activate the blessings, is to activate the victory that is in the spirit, so that it manifests in the physical. So I hope we'll continue to encourage each other. So if you have anything to share, feel free to contact me directly, but I shall continue to give you some instructions as we go. So this is it, guys. I hope the Lord will continue to do well for you. So keep believing, keep praying, do not give up, remain there, remain standing. Do not look at your situation, but look at the God who is above, the God who is bigger than your problems, the God who is bigger than any situation, the God who is bigger than the sickness you may be going through, the God who is bigger than the financial distress, any area that you are lacking. God is actually bigger than that. So focus on God. Don't focus on your problem. Yes, problems are there, we can't ignore them, but we fight our battles focusing on God, because I tell you, if you focus on your problems, you will fail. You will fail. So I hope I've managed to encourage someone tonight. But let's continue to get in touch. Keep praying. Shalom.